Hey guys, wanted to talk a little bit about the traction control on the Pro M system here. The traction control is no joke. I just tested it out pretty good for the first time. I had disabled it in the computer or whatever accidentally, so I was having trouble figuring out what was wrong with it, and that's all it was, just had disabled it. And so without traction control, I mean, first and second gear is just as soon as you drop the clutch with pedal to the metal, I mean, you're just hitting the rev limiter. And that's it. You're done. With the traction control on, it still spins probably a little more than I would want it to in first gear, but it definitely pulls better. So you get full acceleration in first and second gear. So it does make a huge difference. And then I tried turning it back off again, and it's just, I mean, the car's completely uncontrollable. There's just nothing you can do with it. It just hits, like I said, as soon as it just rips the tires and hits the rev limiter in first and second gear. And I haven't really done much with third gear because everything I read says the stock T5 transmission, if it breaks, it's going to snap in third gear. So I'm being easy on third gear right now. And this traction control system is not like a normal traction control in a newer model car, like where you're going low speed, you know, and you're slip on the ice or whatever, and it transfers power, you know, to the wheel that's not slipping by applying the brakes or whatever. It doesn't work like that at all. So it's more of like a full acceleration racing type traction control. If the computer senses the car is accelerating more than 22 mile an hour per second, then it sees that as improbable or impossible. And so what it does is cut the spark, you know, and slow you down so that the drive shaft doesn't turn any faster than a 22 mile an hour per second gain in speed. And it works really well. Like I say, without it, you know, you're just bumping rev limiter just almost immediately because you just light the tires up. But with it on, you got a nice smooth acceleration. Even though the tires want to spin, it still allows it to accelerate nice and smooth over the RPM range. So that's very cool, very cool. But the button is actually from Billet Automotive buttons, and they're out of Australia. So this button took, you know, a good month or so to get here, but I bought the 22 millimeter. I bought the RGB button, and right now I've got it. It's an RGB button. Right now I've got it wired. The button illuminates blue when the traction control is on, but you can actually program the computer so that when traction control is on, either the light can be on or off. So I think what I'm going to do is change it so that when traction control is off, then the light will illuminate red. So let's take you inside here and show you the button and how it's set up. Okay, so this is where I've chosen to mount my button, and it's the, like I said, the 22 millimeter RGB. Now you have to push and hold this button for about 6 seconds to get it to go on or off. So let's demonstrate how it works. Okay, you can see it's illuminated blue right now. Traction control is on. So you push and hold, 2, 3. There, traction control goes off. So that's pretty much it. You just on or off. But it does appear to illuminate slightly green when it's off, which I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, push and hold. And the traction control comes back on. Next, I want to try messing with the no lift shift. I'm not sure if I have all the wiring I need for that. There may be something else I need to order. But I'm going to check on that to see what else I need to order. But that seems like the next logical step. Because supposedly the no lift shift is supposed to match your engine speed to the RPM of the next gear as you're changing, like from first to second, second to third, whatever. And that's pretty cool, because I mean, it's going to be easier on the drivetrain, easier on the clutch, easier on everything. I mean, it can do that better than I can, for sure. And I'll put a link in the description to Billet Automotive buttons, where I bought this button from. And it's a very good quality button. And this is the temporary switch, so it's not a click on or off, it's just temporary. And like I say, you push and hold it for 6 seconds to turn traction control on and off. And it works quite well. But I don't see any reason to leave traction control off, so I think I'm going to rewire this button so that, like I said, when traction control is on, this button, there will be no illumination at all, but when traction control is off, it will illuminate red. Alright guys, so I decided to go ahead and rewire my switch. So if you do end up buying this style of button, here's your wiring diagram for the RGB button. Now you're going to want the normally open terminals, this one and this one, and those are going to be your main two wires going to your computer. And those are in a nice little wire loom coming out of the Pro-M system. You can see they're hooked up there to one to either side. Now that's your normally open, so that when you depress the button, then it is closed. Okay, for RGB, now it's correct here where it says LED wires, the 12 volt positive. That one is correct, 12 volt positive, but there's no way to know what's up and what's down on the switch. Other than I can tell you it's the green wire, and I just did a lot of testing with my voltmeter to find it. Now the RGB wires, now you can hook them together in any combination, so you're mixing red, green, and blue to make pretty much any color you want. And those are going to go to your ground. Now what would make sense is to make those wires red, blue, and green. But no, instead we've got three green wires. We've got a blue wire, which actually is the red lead, which I have it hooked up to now. And then you have a red wire and a black wire. And those two hooked together would be blue and green, which would make, you know, just a lighter shade of blue or a blue-green, which is what I had it hooked up to before. And so there's your wiring. It's a mess. Now all these are taped off. These four here are not used. Those white ones, those are for your normally closed function. You can see here, normally closed are those two inner ones there on either side, the vertical terminals. Those would be if your switch was normally closed. So there's your wiring. I hope this helps someone if you get this style switch. Certainly it's not it's not intuitive by any means. So there's my hookup if you wanted it red like I've got it. You hook to the blue wire. Now who's to say you may not get this same harness if you order the same switch? I don't know. Now this just unplugs off the switch itself, as you can see here. Alright, let's get all this put back together and I'll show you the finished product. Alright guys, I got my button switched around. So now when traction control is off, it's going to illuminate red. It looks kind of orange on the screen, but it's red. So that's traction control off. Push and hold for about 6 seconds. Turns traction control back on. So there you go. I think that makes more sense than the way I had it, which was a weird little blue light when traction control was on. Well, the way it works so well, I mean, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't have it on unless you were just, you know, doing a burnout or something stupid. It just really works that well. And without it, the car is really hard to control. Because, I mean, it really does have a lot of power. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you liked it. Thanks for watching.